The U.S. Space Agency, NASA, had a busy 2014, launching 3 missions last year, and 2 more already this year. The latest NASA probes are focused on observing Earth's vital life support systems to provide data that could help scientists to better understand the factors behind Earth's warming climate. And joining me right now is VOA Environment correspondent. This is Rosanne Skirble. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Let's talk about this satellite called GPM. What is it and what does it do?
GPM is monitoring rainfall and snow, water in the air, water in the atmosphere. It follows on something called the Tropical Rainfall Measuring Instrument, or TRIM, basically looking at rainfall, heavy rainfall, moderate rainfall in the tropics. This extends it globally. So we'll go from the Antarctic to the Arctic, and we'll see more of a global picture. Why is this important? It's important because water is fundamental to life on Earth. We need to know more about it. We need to know more about the system. It also will help improve the forecasting, especially of extreme events. Monitors hurricanes and the like, and we want to know more. We want to know more about that because under a global climate change, what we're expecting is more severe and more intense weather events, and this will help understand that better. But also, it will help in monitoring fresh water. As we have more droughts, we need to know where the water is, so that, especially for agriculture.
But NASA sends out these kind of satellites more often. Why is this one particularly important? Is this the first time that we'll get a global picture of what's going on in terms of securing water?
I think that it enlarges that picture. Yes, it makes it more. It makes it global. It extends the picture. That's why it's important. As I said before, it's fundamental to Earth.
And then there's another satellite called the OCO2. Tell us a little bit about that.
OCO2 is the first spacecraft that NASA is sending to look at the atmospheric carbon dioxide. And that's important because it's a chief greenhouse gas that causes global warming. And the human impacts, what's happening now is that the elevated CO2 is because of human impacts. And that's the cars we drive, the buildings we heat and cool, and also the power plants that we use, which is increasing the levels of CO2 in the atmosphere. We want to be able to see it, to chart it, to map it. And that's exactly what NASA's doing. It's giving us a picture, and this is global, a global picture of where the carbon is being emitted, where we can see it in the atmosphere, as well as to where it's being stored. So we can balance those two. So a little bit of good news out of this already, that since it's been launched, is that we're seeing that in the tropical forests that they're taking up more carbon dioxide than they had previously thought. So this is really an opportunity.
So it's like these satellites will provide a more accurate global picture of the global climate.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. They provide this picture, and so knowing about the rainfall, knowing about how the wind is, knowing about how the ocean waves, all these things that contribute to climate. Understanding that will give us not only a better picture, but it'll be able to take the next step. Well, if we continue to put carbon emissions into the atmosphere, we have to adapt to the change that's coming to us. So this will help decision makers, this will help managers, this will help adapt to the changes in our future.
Will it help meteorologists predict weather?
Well, no. Basically, if you're asking the question, are these connected to climate change? Are these more severe and intense events? No, scientists are not ready to say that. They're just ready to say that they're more intense. But it will give us more information that in turn will be able to predict the weather.
Thank you so much for joining us, VOA Environment reporter Rosanne Skirble.
Thank you so much for having me.